The Attorney General Eric Holder moments ago calling it a senseless act, which he blamed on a punk.
This was a damn punk who was trying to sow discord in an area that is trying to get its act together and trying to bring together a community that has been fractured for too long.
No less than the president then tweeting this: violence against police is unacceptable. Our prayers are with the officers of Missouri. Path to justice is one all of us must travel together. Phil Milwaukee County Sheriff David Clarke on what he finds very troubling in all of this. What do you think of all of it, Sheriff?
Well, this war on our nation's finest, the American police officer, continues, but it continues to be fueled by some very important people. I think it's empty rhetoric for what Eric Holder offered today and the president through a tweet, of all things, when they have now an obligation to stand up and remind people in these urban ghettos and these American ghettos that they have a responsibility to comply with law enforcement officers' commands. If we want to end these deadly encounters between police and citizens, then we have to tell these young black men to stop attacking the police, stop fighting the police, stop resisting the police when they're trying to pull you over, and cooperate with their lawful commands. And if they have complaints about the way they're treated, some of these may be justified. There's a process for that. So, you know, the fact that Eric Holder released this report last week, and by the way, that was a junk report because there was no objectivity. He cherry-picked a few emails and he misapplied and used a misapplication of data and statistics.
You're talking about the one where he said there was blatant racism going on in Ferguson. Do you think that fed what ultimately happened?
Well, no, but it continues to fuel this cop hatred, this anti-police sentiment that's going on in America. That used to be underground. We haven't seen these types of assault on the institution of policing since the turbulent 60s, the riots of the 60s that hit a lot of urban centers in America. And now it's come to the surface because they feel empowered by some of the cop-hating rhetoric that we're hearing ever since the days of Ferguson, Missouri.
All right, so when you hear someone on this tape talk about this essentially as something that was set up 19 months ago, or for 9 months ago, I'm sorry, that this is all the cops' fault.
It's easy to blame the police. You know, there's a lot going on in the city of Ferguson. They have some problems there, and they're going to have to work those out. But I'm here to protect the profession of policing that has been under siege, it's been under assault. As if our American police officers target young black men in these urban ghettos for summary execution on the street. That's garbage. There's no data to support that. There's no research to support it. So that's an example, Neil, of how this anti-cop hatred and rhetoric continues to be fueled. People are basing this on this false narrative out of Ferguson, Missouri, this hands up, don't shoot, that we now know positively. We knew it, and President Obama and Eric Holder knew it in the weeks that followed the Ferguson shooting, the unfortunate situation. But we know now for a fact that that never happened, but that continues to be the slogan, if you will, the rhetoric that comes out of that.
It's been established as a narrative that just was never the case. But having said that, the reference that the Attorney General made to whoever shot these cops as a punk, do you think, without dipping into the racial mix here, that if a white attorney general working for a white president had said that, would it get the same media reaction?
Well, he would have been accused, if it were a white attorney general, there would have been dog whistle, as they like to say, or code language for, you know, racist or being black. But like I say, I think it's a day late and a dollar short for Eric Holder. And what I would like to hear now is for him and President Obama, Bill de Blasio, and others in position of power and leadership to denounce the behaviors that are coming out of these deadly encounters. Attacking the police, resisting arrest is not going to get you anywhere. And that's what we need to hear from these individuals instead of in laying this all at the foot of the American police officer, talking about what they need to do differently, what they need to do better. We need to get better. However, when an officer makes a lawful command for you that you're under arrest, put your hands behind your back, or tries to pull you over and starts to question you, ask you for identification, all lawful activities, people in these urban centers, everyone does, but specifically where these deadly encounters can happen, young black men have to check their behavior, have to be respectful of authority, and deal with that in a more socially acceptable way after the event, not trying to take down or disarm or fight a law enforcement officer. You are headed to a very dark place when that happens, and things are not going to work out well for you.
Sheriff, thank you very much. Good seeing you again. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Neil.